Thanks for joining me today as I talk about supercharging discoverability with Stadia. My name is Beri Lee, product manager on Stadia, and I'll be co-presenting with Shishir Birmiwal, engineering lead on Stadia. Supercharge discoverability. So I want to start with a quick definition of what I think discoverability is. Discoverability is the degree to which content can be found in an information system by people who would get value from it. So what happens when you can't measure discoverability? Let's take an example where you have 3 users that you're trying to reach, and let's say the top user, the red user, is the one that would actually get value from your content. So let's say you have 2 messages, an airplane-based one, a roadside-based one, and you want to understand which of these 2 messages is actually the one that's going to resonate with that red user. You also don't even know if either message is necessary. Maybe that red user would have found your content regardless. So it quickly becomes apparent that without the ability to measure the efficacy of your discoverability efforts, it's really hard to know what to do next. And that's what this talk is about. It's about enabling developers and publishers to maximize discoverability. This talk will be split into 2 parts. I'll give a quick overview and background, the what and whys of discoverability and how Stadia helps. And then the second part, Shishir will go over a deep dive onto how this actually looks working with Stadia. So let's start with background. Earlier, we said that discoverability is the degree to which content can be found in an information system by people who would get value from it. Some of those information systems are listed here, for example, search or digital print, digital conversations. These are all places where users can learn about content. With all of these options to get your message out there, discoverability should really be easy. Turns out there are challenges, and the challenge is in 3 parts. The first is really just knowing which channels work to get to the users that you want. So where are those users? Are they on YouTube? Are they looking things up on search? And the second is, once you get those content into your ecosystems, how did you even know how they arrived there to start with? How do you know which channels contain the most users that you actually want to experience your content? And then the last challenge is, even if you could answer those first 2 questions, being able to do so in a timely fashion so that you can optimize and figure out which discoverabilities really work for your immediate efforts, that's also really challenging. So I'm going to switch over to going over some quick research as we're digging into this area. We asked, where are gamers going to learn about games? And we also asked, what specifically are they looking for? So I want to share some of those results. We found that 44% of gamers are using video and reviews to discover new AAA games. We also found that when researching games, YouTube is the single most popular platform, with gamers spending 22% of their time researching for content. As for where gamers go when they want to learn about gameplay, 95% of gamers surveyed either agreed or strongly agreed that YouTube was a good place to discover new content. The goal, of course, isn't to over-index on YouTube. It just happens to be the video channel that we have the most access to in terms of research. What we really want is for publishers and developers to find out which channels are best for discovery of their content for themselves. And it's not just something we want. In a separate study, we actually asked a lot of our partners what feature we should be building to help them with their discoverability efforts. And we heard really clearly 2 things. The first is they all want the ability to experiment with messages and which messages work best. And the second thing is they really want the ability to understand, once users end up engaging with their content, how they got there. So going back to the 3-part challenge, with Stadia, we're really trying to deliver a full cycle, tying discovery to actions that matter, and to do it in days instead of weeks. So let's go through an actual concrete scenario. Let's say you built a game and you want to make sure gamers who enjoy it get a chance to engage. So you have a hypothesis here, and maybe it says people who search thriller, RPG, and game are more likely to be interested in and engage with your content than otherwise. And so maybe you have campaign A, which is targeting users who've searched for these terms. And maybe you have campaign B, which is targeting users who are on a social media site who might be exposed to banner ads. So you want to be able to test your hypothesis. As a developer or publisher on Stadia, we think we can help. There are 3 key parts to this. First, as Phil Harrison promised earlier this year, we're going to be pulling down barriers to accessing the platform, and this is the first ingredient. The second ingredient is you'll want a hypothesis and an ad channel of your choice to run your test on. And the third is you'll need Stadia's new attribution reports, which are coming soon. Once we have these three ingredients, first, gamers see your campaign messaging anywhere on the internet. That message has a special call to action. This is a link that will land the user to a tailored gamer experience. So let's say the gamer hasn't purchased the game yet. The tailored experience that this gamer would experience is that they'll get landed onto a store page where they can actually purchase the game. And then after purchasing, the user can play anywhere. Because the messaging happens with Stadia links, and because gamers always end up on Stadia, the platform, you'll always be able to fully understand which messages work and how gamers got to your game. So in short, to maximize discoverability, Stadia will enable you to experiment with your messages and also really understand the actions that users are taking and improve your further outreach methods. With that, I will hand it over to Shishir to dive into the actual mechanics of how this would work for you as a Stadia developer or publisher.
Thank you, Beri. My name is Shishir Birmiwal, and I'm an engineering lead in the Stadia team. So, as Beri said, this section is going to do a deep dive into how this would work for you. The most important prerequisite right now is that you have to be a Stadia developer or publisher. Once you become a Stadia developer or publisher, an organization is created for you in Stadia. You will be able to log into the partner portal and download the Stadia SDK, which will enable you to develop on your local machine and test on Stadia instances. When you're ready to publish, you will want to think through your discoverability strategy. Since you will have awesome discoverability, you will have happy and engaged users. Let's take a deep dive into the mechanics of supercharging discoverability. At a high level, you will want to go through these steps. Step 1. It's always a good idea to ponder over and plan out a question before seeking answers. Your questions could be about what you should be doing next, what audiences work better, what messaging to use, or what call to action to take. Step 2. You need to set up your ad campaigns accordingly. You will need a link for each campaign you're setting up. Step 3. Set up your ad campaign with the corresponding campaign links. This system is not necessarily for ads. You could also just set up links from different parts of your website or blog to Stadia and see how they perform. It's just a link. You need to make it visible somewhere. People click on it and come to your store on Stadia. The internet's your store. You get the picture. Step 4. Run the campaign. Make those links visible. Let there be clicks. Step 5. Analyze the results. You're now getting results in days. Step 6. Optimize discovery. We'll walk through an example to illustrate these steps next. So, plan the question. This example is a bit more involved and it wants to show how experimentation can impact both what you message as publishers and what you design as developers. Let's say you have a list of users of your game, Jump Game, and your goal is to boost re-engagement. You've done two things. You've created a new event and a new set of armor. You can ask two questions. The first is, where is the best place for existing users to discover new content? The second is, what kind of content is most effective at getting users to re-engage? We can set up a 2x2 experiment like the one shown here, varying the content type, new armor versus new event, and the messaging channel, YouTube and game news sites, at the same time. Now that you have a plan for what questions you want to ask and how to answer them, let's go through what the setup looks like. You will want to get the campaign links from the Stadia Partner Portal. The Stadia Partner Portal is a website where Stadia developers and publishers manage the content that they're developing for Stadia. You can create 4 links and label them as needed. In this example, we can label them as News plus Armor, News plus Event, YouTube plus Armor, and YouTube plus Event. You'll go to your ad platform and set up your ads. When you set up your ads, you will use the corresponding link that was generated on Stadia Partner Portal. In this example, we're trying to set up a campaign on YouTube for new armor, so we're using that link. You will go through similar setup for each of the 3 campaigns that you want to run and leverage each of the remaining 3 Stadia links. Next, we want to run the campaigns we have set up. So you go to your ad platform, run the campaign, and wait for users to click on the ads, go to Stadia, and engage with your content. So now comes the interesting part. We can start analyzing the results. So you go to Stadia and get daily attribution reports for the time range you care about. On the Stadia Partner Portal, you can download different types of reports. One of these is an attribution report. The report will tell you how many purchases you had for each of the 4 campaigns you ran. In this example, we see that the reports are aggregated on a daily basis. You see a count of purchases and the campaign names they're attributed to. Next, you aggregate and join with information you get from other sources, your ad site in this case. And say in this example, you get a count of impressions from your ad platform. You can use the buys and impressions to figure out the conversion rate. You can now analyze this and get insights into what you care about. If you care more about buys per dollar, you can compute that too. In this example, we see that YouTube is a more compelling channel to re-engage your users. New events are more compelling to users. We can also see that users on YouTube are markedly more compelled to new events than game news sites. Now you can optimize. You can use this information to optimize what you do next in your game development, as well as your next messaging strategy. For starters, you can use the findings to generate new questions. Maybe you want to run a few more experiments to confirm that events are really much better at getting re-engagements than armor. If you find it's actually a really strong repeatable signal, maybe you will end up shifting your development strategy and do more of events than armor. Similarly, on the messaging side, maybe you confirm that YouTube is actually a more effective place to help users discover your content. Or maybe you find the opposite. The power is in your hands to find out and to change your messaging accordingly. To summarize, Stadia can help you experiment anywhere on the web and understand the value of different discoverability techniques. Stadia will enable you to explore a bunch of things and track the source of traffic to identify which ones bring you more value. From your website, your blog, your social network pages, your ad campaigns to your affiliates. All of this is going to be on Stadia in the coming quarter. Do you want to take part in shaping the future of Stadia? Sign up to work with the product team to develop our roadmap. Follow the link in the presentation. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you all the best. Happy gaming.